Assalamu alaikum, this is Megan Wyatt answering your question here at About Islam. First of all, thank you so much for writing in and sharing your question and the situation that you're going through. You've not been married a really long time and you do have a baby, a little one, and I really appreciate the fact that you want to change the environment that not only are you experiencing, but also the one in which your child is going to grow up in. So the challenge that you're facing, ultimately, what I gathered from your question was that your husband severely struggles with trust issues. He's extremely insecure. He believes that you might leave him, that you will go away from him, you'll find someone better than him, you'll be exposed to one of his faults, and as a result of that, he's not secure in the relationship with you. And because of his insecurities and because of his trust issues, it comes out in situations where he's trying to get you to prove your loyalty to him, your loyalty to the marriage, that you are sincere, that you don't lie, that you would never cheat, maybe that you don't talk to someone else, or maybe he's scrutinized the way in which you've interacted with the opposite gender or a family member. And if he hasn't done that, that's probably coming. And so the question is, what do you do in a situation like this? Well, the first thing that I want you to know is that he has major trust issues. You mentioned it's because of things he went through in the past. So it's really important that you do not personalize this behavior in the sense that you start to feel like it's your job to make him feel more secure and to feel better in ways that would ask you to stop being yourself. Okay? Because it's one thing if you were off flirting with some guy and really laying on interest in somebody and then he got jealous and upset. That would probably be a bit more of a normal response for just about anyone. But in your case, he's creating these scenarios, he's creating these ideas, these fears, these scenarios that haven't happened, and he's projecting all of his insecurity and emotion onto you and saying, prove to me this wouldn't happen, prove to me that you wouldn't do this, prove to me that that's not what's going to happen, and he's putting so much pressure on you. It's not your job to change your behavior or your way of being in order to comfort his personal insecurities, okay? What would happen then is that slowly over time, you would be less and less of yourself, constantly on eggshells, constantly panicked he's going to get upset, and try to think probably 3 steps ahead of where his brain is in order to make sure that nothing could happen that might trigger his insecurities so that you guys don't have conflict. And that's a lot for you to take on as a person. Instead, what I would invite you to do in this situation is to accept that he's an insecure person, to recognize that clearly someone has violated his trust in the past and he continues to live with that trauma, those wounds, the fears of it happening again, and those are very, very real emotional experiences for him. And to respond to him with the assurance that you would not hurt him, with the assurance that you're not just going to leave him, and offer him that level of sort of the tranquility that a marriage can provide for him to know that you are nothing like the past. So in other words, say he's upset and he's accusing you of something, you don't have to defend yourself, explain your actions, explain your tone of voice, explain why you did this or that. Instead, you can say, listen, I know that you're worried that somewhere in all of this, I'm going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm here. I'm married to you. I love you. I care about you. And I want us to be together. It's okay. In other words, when a person has that level of anxiety and insecurity, you do have the opportunity, you don't have to do this, but you do have the opportunity to be a loving force and a healing force that can help him overcome whatever these previous wounds are that he's experienced. Again, do you have to do this? No. Did you sign up for this? Probably not. But in marriage is often a healing ground for many, many people, for many different things that they've gone through. A stable, emotionally present, spiritually grounded spouse can do so much for someone else that is working from a place of hurt and fear. So again, I don't want you to defend yourself. I don't want you to feel like you have to prove yourself. Instead, if you can, just be that calm force of assurance. I hear that you're triggered. I hear that you're upset. I hear that you're worried. It's okay. I'm not going to leave you. It's okay. I'm not going to cheat on you. It's okay. I would never do that to you. You don't have to worry about that. That's not the person I am. And if he asks for proof and starts pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, you can decline to engage in that and simply say, listen, I think this is something that you've got to work through because I've already offered you my assurance. And you don't have to engage any further. Now, he might not like that. And he might not like that because ultimately it would force him to recognize that he has a part to play in healing and he has a part to play in growing. And part of that is the risk that comes with marriage and with love, which is that you do have to at some point trust your spouse. You do have to at some point be willing to put your heart out there and accept actually that they could leave you, that they could not want you anymore, that they could betray you, but decide to base your feelings and your trust on their actions, on their character, on the person that they see day in and day out. That's his responsibility. I would definitely say you shouldn't engage in any kind of volatile arguments around your child. That is definitely not a healthy place to be in. And so not engaging in an argument is a good call. Like, look, you're upset and I know that your fears are triggered right now. I've offered you my assurance and right now I'm going to let you calm down, but I'm here when you just want to talk. I'm here if you'd like a hug. That's kind of the way to disengage, not from a place of anger or walking off or threatening, from a place of I love you and I'm here, but I don't want to be in this space with you right now where you're going to say things that are hurtful or you're angry and it's going to impact me or it's going to impact, our family. Now, as for you guys living apart for a period of time and his mother saying stuff and it breaking the relationship and him saying you mistreated his family and all of this stuff, again, what you can do is simply speak the truth. I would never want to hurt your family. I would never want to disrespect them. If I've done something specific, let me know. I would be happy to apologize for that. I care about you. I care about the family. Speak, in other words, to the part of him that is afraid and that part of his fears which are irrational, but please don't run yourself ragged trying to prove yourself, because that is a bottomless pit and it will not end. And the more you feed into that, the deeper that pattern is going to go in your relationship. And you're actually enabling him to continue in a pattern of behavior that he's obviously very comfortable with and he knows very well. And that pattern of behavior is going to get worse over time, not better. So people often think the more I give in and the more I prove myself and the more I do different things, the better it's going to be and it's going to go away. But most of the time it gets worse. You give that inch and then they want 2 inches and 3 inches and 4 inches and then a mile, and then it just keeps going. So don't enable the behavior by trying to give in to a million things. Be dignified, but be merciful. So if you need anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to me again. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to offer you the right resources and solutions for you both to overcome this, for there to be healing and help for him and for you as well. Assalamu alaikum.